Peter Adams with Milwaukee Firkin Craft Beer Festival. Let me grab one of these from you, sir. We started it about 4 years ago with the intent of celebrating Milwaukee's brewing heritage. Started out with about 1,000 people the first year, and now it's grown to about 1,700. So, as you can see, a lot of people in Milwaukee love craft beer, and we hope to keep growing that.
There's beer in these kegs.
Whoa! Hi there, my name is George Breger. We're here at Firkin Fest. We're here a little bit early today to get set up because we're actually serving. That looks good, that looks right. A couple of our first seasonal beers, which we had brewed at Three Sheeps in Sheboygan. We're really excited to be doing Firkin Fest. This is the first time we've actually done this festival. So what we brought today is basically a farmhouse style ale. But we used a really unique ingredient that's actually from the coffee farm. That ingredient's called cascara. And what cascara is it's actually the skin or the peel off of a coffee cherry when that coffee cherry gets processed at the farm. And it sort of has this kind of green tea flavor, sort of like green tea mixed with kind of an herbal, fruity character, basically.
We gotta serve this? Can't we just keep it for ourselves eventually?
Firkin Fest came about. We at Easttown Association were thinking about doing a beer festival, and as circumstances would have it, Kurt was thinking about doing a beer festival in Milwaukee. So the stars kind of aligned, and we wanted to do a beer festival. Kurt wanted to do one in Milwaukee. I think we were one of the first resurging beer festivals in the city, so
Right.
It was just a good relationship. So what is a firkin? Tell me.
Well, real quickly, the firkin origin came from, it was a unit of measurement.
Right.
So when people back in England, that's where it started, wanted to get a container of lard or butter or something, flour, they would get it at a firkin. But it was also used for beer. And why it's important now is it kind of takes everybody back. It's cask conditioned ale, it's naturally carbonated with a vent in the barrel, not CO2 or gas or nitrogen. And so you get these very unique organic flavors.
Yeah.
And people are looking for something new and different. They're not going to find this at the liquor store, and they're not going to find it in many taverns.
And it, like you said, it's a one-off, so the brewmasters can let their creative juices flow and do a bacon bourbon beer like Hinterland.
Absolutely.
Which is delicious.
I mean, there's a lot of real interesting takes on the recipes that the brewers have that they've added to the firkin. And so we won't see most of these next year.
Yeah, which is the beauty of it.
Right.
It's kind of like Burning Man.
Yeah, it's
set it up and burn it down.
Yep, never the same thing. It always looks different the next time you do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Grant Pauly, founder and brewmaster at Three Sheeps Brewing Company in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Piece de resistance for today is going to be our really squiddy water slides. We took our IPA, our bestseller, really cool water slides, and added squidding to it. I got this idea from pasta that they do over in Italy where they blacken it with squidding. And I thought, let's try to make a black IPA with that. So we added it to it. We'll pour a sample here in a sec, I guess. But it turned out nice. It's a little briny, and that just enhances the hop characteristics and flavor to it. And you get a good kind of slight seaweed note on the nose. One of the fun things with Firkins is when we put the ingredients together, we don't get to taste it ahead of time. So today was the first time we've had a chance to see how this guy was going to come out, and it met the expectations. Yeah, nice and dark head cascading down to a black beer. So you can start to pick up the squidding on the nose. You're getting a little of that brine, kind of seaweed, sea characteristic. When you take a sip, it really just opens up that bitterness and makes it a little bigger than the really cool water slide normally is. The hops linger longer in the mouth, and you just get a very, very subtle salt flavor that kind of helps bring everything together. It really just rounded out water slide and just made it a bigger beer.
I'm Mike Brenner, the founder and brewmaster at Brenner Brewing Company. Brenner Brewing Company was an idea that I came up with about 5 years ago. I was home brewing in front of my art gallery in River West and decided there had to be a better way to support local artists, a more sustainable way. So I went back to school, got an MBA, went to Germany, got a master brewer diploma, and then I've been working my butt off coming up with recipes and raising money so that I can start my brewery.
Here you go, enjoy.
So today I've got a ton of different beers. The idea is just kind of give people a sample of different possibilities of what I might be releasing. So on Firkin today, I've got something a little bit different. I actually never brewed it before, and a couple weeks ago I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I ended up doing a really chocolatey stout with oatmeal and cocoa nibs that also had strawberries kind of steeping in it for a couple days. And so it's kind of a chocolate-covered strawberry stout. And once it warms up, you really get a lot of that chocolate and strawberry in it. And that's why it's really suited to a Firkin, so it's not an ice-cold beer. You really kind of lose a lot of that great flavor. Another beer I have that I'm really happy with is, I call it Affenkönig, which is German for Monkey King. And what the Monkey King is it's another kind of German-inspired beer from my time studying brewing in Germany. In Munich, there's one brewery, Schneiderweise, that has a hoppy Weissbier, which is really something that nobody else does. And so I wanted to do my take on it. And so I came up with a hoppy Weissbier that's twice as strong at 8.1% and 3 times as hoppy than most Weiss beers. And I really tried to pull out the banana and the fruit flavors with the hops and the yeast so that I could kind of make it just something people wouldn't expect. And so a lot of what I try to do really is take a traditional style and do something a little bit different. A lot of it is about experimentation.
How would you compare Milwaukee's beer knowledge to the other events that you've done in Wheaton or Illinois?
Every single market that I do a festival in is very unique and very different. But the common denominator with everybody is, in a very short period of time, beer knowledge has gone from 0 to up that scale.
Right.
And what you would have thought would have taken a decade has taken 2-3 years. And
it's because of that little invention from Al Gore, I think.
Yeah, the internet has really helped propel this. I think though, because it's local, I think because it's unique, and I think because it's a social entity, and all of the breweries we have are socially involved with their community and constituents. People want to be part of it. They want to be part of something that's fun and something that they feel the ownership in.
I think years ago, people in Milwaukee tended to shun and shy away from the culture of beer. They didn't want to be associated with Laverne and Shirley.
Sure.
But now I think it's coming full circle where people are realizing that that's a sense of pride and you should be proud of that heritage.
I think Milwaukeeans should be.
Yeah.
You've heard me say this before, there's a lot of worse things to be known for. And when people talk about Milwaukee to an outsider, generally speaking, they don't have a negative impression. They think of Milwaukee as kind of this fun-loving town. And I can't think of why that would be a negative. Yeah. So this is, if you look around, this is exactly what we hoped it would do.
We're a giant beer garden.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks, Kurt. Thanks for taking some time
to
talk with us.
It's been fun. It's been a great time.
Firkin great.
Firkin great. Firkin awesome. Firkin outstanding.